So, this one to give a little overview of the new MiniDisc player I got. Another one, we're waiting on another one too, but this is the Onkyo MD-105TX, which is a nice little mini bookshelf deck, which is pretty fucking nice. So, the goal with this guy is what it's doing right now, which is pretty much, this is the one that I'm going to use at home, instead of me having to use my portable players and stuff like that. But this is pretty much the one that I use at home, and it will just sit here, and it's connected into my whole like audio system, where I'm able to remotely control it and listen to it from any room around here. So right now it's currently hooked up to here, and I have it set up in an always active mode. Previously it was set up, well, by default it's set up where basically you can you have to like tell it, basically go to the input to actually hear it. But now what it's set up as an always active, and I'll show how that works in a second. But that means that I can, and anytime I can start playing stuff on here, and it will switch from the radio to the player automatically, as well as if I stop it, it'll automatically switch back. It does it too, it's too aggressive, but that's just due to the way that like the system's set up. So I'll have to go over here and open up the daggone remote desktop connection, at least show you it, but we'll get to that in a second when we get there. But anyway, so this one is unfortunately does not support group support, but it is a nice small bookshelf unit. You can see it's about yay deep. It's big enough where you can put it, where you can put this like on a like this is a monitor stand you can get at Best Buy, and you can see it's pretty much can easily fit inside of inside those dimensions. So you can actually put this like under a monitor, and it will look really fucking nice. It has optical two optical inputs, which is pretty neat, and then also has line in, but it does not have a optical output, which is really fucking annoying. I also noticed another thing about this thing. It's weird, is that for some, I feel like the line level output from this thing is a little hot. It's a lot hotter than other stuff, because I run into the issue where it blew that. It's really blowing the fuck out of my Mac Mini on one of my Behringer audio interfaces. So now I had to plug it in directly into the Mac Mini using its line input. So I was able to actually turn the volume down to like -4 dB, because even at 0 dB it's still a little too loud. So anyway, now because this is part of like a whole bookshelf unit system, I don't have the ability to do like some of the controls and the timer and all that stuff yet. I will find a way to do it. I can get the I'll have to work on the IR cable and all that stuff to remotely control it, but we'll get to that when I get around to actually doing that part of the process. It'll probably be done through a Raspberry Pi or something. But way I have it set up is right here, and then also next to it we have all my discs. So we have pretty much my main collection of discs, and right next to it just have my HDMI switcher for this monitor, and my dock for one of my laptops. At one point I had it all the way down to the ground, but the problem is that like it also meant that it was very like this laptop, when it's open, will get in the way of it. It will still get in the way, but at least I can push it over. But also meant that the Harmony had a trouble sending the IR codes to it, and we'll get to what that's for in a minute. But yeah, right here you can see I have let's put a couple discs on top. This is a disc I'm currently reviewing, so I'm trying to go through and listen to it to find stuff what I want and what I don't want, and things like that. Now this, like I said, is a recorder, so we can also record from any inputs. So we have the 2 digital inputs, the analog in, which I would probably use a digital in, but I have to get a digital out from the computer, which I don't have yet. So for now we're just using analog in, which will most likely be the radio, so I can be able to just hit record when something's coming on the radio, and if I want to bring it with me, just directly record it, because why not? Your record mode, which you have LP4, mono, and LP2, LP4. So this is MDLP, thank God, because if it was not MDLP, I was not buying it. You kind of need that. Now you can't do different display from this mode. There's also an edit, which you can do the record levels. Here's your record levels, your level sync, which I, for the love of God, couldn't tell what that is. I forget what it is. And then your dub mode, which I think yet again requires that it has the correct CD player that's for this system to make it work. Now, at a later date, I'll get around to doing that, but I don't have that. But I do plan on buying the actual some more of the parts of this system. I would like the CD and cassette deck unit for this, because it would be very nice. At least a CD player with this would be really nice. I think this is a VFD. I don't know exactly, but it feels like a VFD. Now, the only thing I really have an issue with this player, now it has not been running long enough for you to figure out if it's still happening, but this motherfucker gets hot. And the unit itself feels perfectly fine, but the actual MD deck, that actually the actual unit that's in charge of doing the actual optical assembly, everything that is actually inside like a little it looks like it's like a standard unit where like it's in this nice little metal box. The problem is that gets extremely hot, and I've also tried to remove the actual surround, like the actual metal casing off the MD deck, so that way it can just like be open. And while doing that, of course, puts you in risk for getting the actual unit dirty, getting the actual optical assembly, everything dirty. But it did make a difference because the thing was still getting hot. So unfortunately, that idea completely failed, and I was wasting my time. So, oh well. But yeah. Now, when I don't understand the whole 24-bit processing thing, whatever. It sounds like any other MiniDisc player to me. It's fine. It doesn't. There's nothing special about it, nor is there anything crazy wrong with it. I mean, I think this actually is I think this is like a mid-range unit. There's an FX model that's a high MD version of this, but I don't really need the high MD version because I don't have high MD. I have nothing that can take advantage of high MD. So while I wanted it, I was like, I'm not spending extra money for that. I don't need. The only thing that I really wanted it for the group support, because this does not have group support. You can tell that by putting the disc in and checking the title, which it does this, which is annoying, which we'll get to why in a minute. But you see the 0:, that's because the groups and the / actually there's no groups on the disc, but because this guy, yet again, like the E900, has no group support, so it just shows that for the title. Which is weird also because I have a Sharp player that does not support groups to my knowledge, but it doesn't show the weird titling information, which is really sussy. Because it makes me feel like it supports groups, but I don't know where. I read that manual. That manual says nothing about groups, and there's no buttons for groups. So, who knows? Maybe it does support groups this entire time, and I've never known for many years I've had that player. But anyway, so on the front, like I said, you have some very basic controls. You have this really nice dial you can use to quickly select songs. We'll get to that in a second. Your eject button, your stop play, your fast forward, rewind, record, display, which we'll get in a second, and then your controller for recording. Now, there's also some more buttons in this that are not visible that you have to, of course, that you just can't get to. You have to actually do it from like IR, and that's where my web interface, I've actually programmed these buttons in. So we have the shuffle, repeat, and music scan, which was music scan's pretty cool. You also have this button, which is the scroll button, which we'll get to that too. But in my case, I just have the main controls, which is play, stop, stuff like that. Now, while in this unit, there's a combo play pause button. That play pause button does not exist on the remote in terms of IR, which is really fucking sucks because I like just a simple button. Because in this case, we'll get to this too. With my case, I have the pause can be used as pause play, but the pause cannot play a disc. So if I have this guy sitting at stop, I will have to play. Literally go and give a play command. You can't just say pause because there's pause. Silly. I don't understand why. It's whatever. It's just whatever. There's no point in fighting over it because it's what it is. Oh, we have it now. We don't have an option. So anyway, now I mentioned that reading TLC thing. That's kind of because one, this is stupid because once it reads the TLC, it spins the disc down. So it's just like reading this TLC, and it will hold it in memory of some kind. You can see it says that right there. Now we hit display. This will show us, I think it's how much time's left on the disc name, the total number of tracks, and the total time. Yeah, which is pretty cool, I guess. But that reading TLC thing is annoying for a couple reasons because the dumbass... because what I believe it happens is that it reads the TLC into RAM and then it doesn't read it again. And what happens is if you want to shuffle, you cannot shuffle while playing back. You have to stop the entire playback, hit the shuffle button, and do play, which is something I found out the hard way because I was like, I kept sending the shuffle command, or random, kept sending that command and it didn't do anything. It was completely ignoring what I was asking it to do for some reason. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it ignoring the fact that I'm asking it to go random? What is going on? So come to find out, like I said, you have to literally have to go and stop the player, then hit random to put in a random mode, and then you can and then push play, which I don't understand why. The only thing I can think of is that it has to reorganize the table of contents in memory, and it doesn't want to do it while it's running, because I'm used on Sony players where you can just change the play mode on the fly. This, no. So that's unfortunate. But like I said, if we push play, well, I can't hit the damn button because it's already been reprogrammed. But also notice how it takes a little while to get started, because I don't know why. It just takes a little while to get started. It's a little weird. Let me turn the volume up. Now for a track, you have the track name, track time, and the remaining time. Now with the style I like, because I can do this. You can fly to where you're trying to go. Track 29, we're already there. Look how fast we were to try to fly there. Look at that, just boom. You can if you know where you're going, you can fly there so fucking fast. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. Let's go to track 6. Which I'm looking for a big song. There we go. It's track 8. But like, if I wanted to, for the repeat mode, you have. Oh, am I in the way again? We have repeat, which is repeat the disc, I believe. Repeat 1, which is repeat that current song. Oh well, apparently to get the signal the first time, and then off. I also have to keep in mind that Harmony is being a little dickhead and likes to just stop working, which is not cool. Now the scroll button is pretty cool, because if you hit that, it will basically scroll the display. Which, did Harmony go to sleep? I don't know. Hello, I asked you to do something. You can do it. I'm hitting the button and no listen. There you go. Yeah. So the point of that also is if you weren't in the mode I'm in right now, which is current song, if you were in the time, you could hit scroll, and it will then show you the actual track name, which I think is pretty darn neat. I'm trying to think. Also, we have music scan. So we hit music scan. What this will do, let me turn the volume up. Now, mind you, there's going to be a delay because of how my system works. We'll get to that, why that is in a minute. But it'll play the first 8 seconds of a song and then go to the next song. And it'll just do this repeatedly. Just keep playing the first 8 seconds of a song at a time, and you'll be able to like get a grasp of what's on the disc, which is pretty cool. And if we hit this button right now again, you'll see it'll disappear, which means then we'll stay on that song. So you can basically use music scan to just shuffle, just get to the disc to see what you're looking for, and then hit it again to stop the scanning process. It's just like, oh, I want that song. There you go. And now you're playing it, which is pretty darn neat. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so the random, like I'll show you, we have to click. We basically send this command, which will stop player, hit random, and play. It's kind of annoying and stupid, but that's just how the system is. And then I can remotely push next, and that you see as this. After this, it will just get next song. We will be random. Now, one fucking really good thing about this thing that keeps me liking it is because of the fact that this motherfucker is gapless. It is one of the players that I've had. This is the only player I've had that is 100% truly gapless. There's no gaps. If you author that diff properly, there's not even a fucking millisecond of a gap. And I will give an example of that. So let's go ahead and pop this disc out. It's going to switch back to the radio, as always. Now, these discs are getting warm. They're not as bad as they usually are. I also have a fan back there to just pull air off the unit itself. And I also angled it so that way I can try to get the top of the unit too. But my hope is I can get this thing to cool the fuck down and stop being so damn hot. But for this one, so track 36. That's where I need to know to go. Which this is one of my mixtapes that I made. One of my favorite ones. I started putting because of this player, another player like the E900. I've been putting labels on the back of my discs so I can be able to know. Where's another example? Have these labels so I know where at the disc I like the general area I'm looking for when it comes to stuff. I'm trying to see if I have any other examples. Yeah. So for this one, Oh no. Those are the general positions to go. Those are where the start of those groups are. And they only do this on these discs that are like really finalized and will never get updated. Especially when running in PIN. Like this motherfucker's never changing. Well, that second mixtape is. Because I'm actually going to remix it and mix it properly. So I will show you the gapless playback. Now the reason why you have that delay is because I'm using airfoil. Airfoil is a way of distributing audio to AirPlay, everything. So you can do AirPlay, Google Chromecast. You can distribute the audio everywhere. And because of that, because it's like that, that means that there is a massive delay because it has to create a buffer I don't know how the fuck it does this, but it will take everything and everything will be 100% in sync. I don't know how it does it. It's done with magic. So like between these current two guys are active, but between these two rooms, you can walk between two rooms, and that's the good thing is that you can turn all these speakers up right now, and it will sound perfectly fine because they'll be 100% in sync. It's so fucking crazy. Also, who the hell is Free Jack? Last time I checked is Darude. Anyway, unless Darude changed his name. So let's go ahead and go to a track. Looking for overturn. Yeah, so let's go ahead and rewind this track a little bit. Oh, you dickhead. Okay, so we'll have to play this. Let it to spin the disc up because apparently it's asleep right now. Rewind this, and I will show you what I'm talking about and why I love it. All right, let's turn it up. Now, mind you, there's a delay, but the delay won't affect how it actually lists, how it plays. But this will give you a kind of an indication of how this dumbfounded me how good it is. And I'm also wasting like 20 minutes talking about a fucking MiniDisc player, but what else is new? And I mix this by hand, so I know that there's no gaps. No gap, not because I thought I didn't know if it was possible to have gapless playback on MiniDisc. Not even a millisecond, not even the tiniest of gaps. It is so fucking nice. It's beautiful how well it's done. I love it. I'm in love. I fucking love this goddamn thing. It's so fucking nice. And just like I said, the ability to just go to track 10, boom, we're there already. Or if I want to go to track, was it 36? I think it was the start of that other mixtape I put on here. Yeah. There we go. So it makes up the fact that there is no group support by having just such incredibly fast seeking. Now I wish that it would read the disc a little quicker, but like it's MiniDisc. That's about typical read time. I don't think this has like G-Shock or anything, so it's whatever. The fast forward controls are kind of it's whatever, I would prefer like a little jog dial. Like if you would like be able to push. Now if you pushing this in is what's used for menus. So I think we're protected, so we can actually get to the edit menu. But you can cut track. Let's take something I can edit. Well, those are locked. But you can use it to delete things, rename tracks. You can also cut tracks and merge tracks. So just like the same on this guy with the track mark, you can also cut tracks, which was good because on one of my albums, one of these over here, they were downloaded from YouTube, and they sound like shit, I know, but they're downloaded from YouTube, and there's an ending that was like an extra 30 seconds ending that I wanted to remove. So I was able to use this, line the time up perfectly, watch the meters, and then pause it, go to edit, slice the track, say okay, and then go to the next track, and then delete the ending. And it's so perfect. I there's nothing I love more than how easy it is to edit stuff on MiniDisc. You can just edit one player, which is really nice. But if you don't know this song, you're a sad person. It's like one of my favorite songs for them. Like I randomly found this song. It was goddamn, it's such a fucking banger. So you'll have to find it yourself, which I think is on Hardcore Syndrome 7, which I want to buy that one just because of that. And I think the other one is not Outer Space, but The Vividness of Memories. Jesus Christ, that motherfucker is that song's a fucking goddamn whole other thing. But anyway, so to show you the other stuff, which is the how the actual thing works, so we can watch it in action, which is this guy. So basically what happens is my radio output is fed here, it comes in through here, and then spits into an audio duct. The line input, which is the mini disc player, comes in here and is set up as a pass-through. So what happens is, whenever an input comes in through there, it will automatically duck out the radio. So like so, actually, the good thing is how clean the output is on both these motherfuckers. Both these, I think because this is on a isolation transformer. Down there, there's the you can't see. There's the Japanese transformer that gets this guy down to the right voltage. This is 100 volts, unfortunately, so it needs a transformer. But because of the fact that it has that transformer, I think is why the grounds are isolated, and I can hit it all the way down to zero. I can hit it on a -60 dB, and like literally just a crisp of a sound is enough to trigger it, which is good because it makes it where, like, you know, a lot of when songs get really quiet, it's able to transition quite freely. So put this back in here. We can play now. This remote is actually a remote that I set this guy up because the harmony is set up through Homebridge, so I can actually access IR devices from HomeKit. So what I'm able to do is you can see right there now it overrided that output. But I set that it's set up where I can actually use these buttons to send IR commands, so I can do my next button. So 1, 2, 3. It should have been 4, but there's also a limit to how fast it can go, and also I may be covering it up. I have to watch the fucking harmony gets awful slow. But also the point of this is so I can be able to walk around, and I don't have to be in front of this fucking player to control it. Turn it down, and I don't have to log into the web interface to control it, because I don't want to be logging into that damn web interface if I don't need to. So let me close all this stuff out. But let me close this out real quick. But yeah, I don't want to have to log into web interface if I don't goddamn need to. But the point is that, like, if I need to, I can do it from here. And I can also set it as the exclusive output, because if I do that, it will actually just directly use this input, so I don't have to so I can listen directly to the mini disc player, and it won't ever switch back to the radio. But for any reason that like something comes on the radio and overrides, it'll switch back. But if this is playing, it will like override what's on the radio. So, but basically we have my usual this button may not stay, but we have the next shuffle disc and pause controls that make sense. Like if I'm not in front of the player, or if I'm out, or if I'm like over in the bathroom, or if I'm from my bedroom or something, I just have this remote. This is the remote in the bedroom. I need a program to just add the simple buttons like pause, play, and pause, and next button. That's all we need there. But I'm thinking I may use this. I may set this one to music scan instead of previous, because I don't really go back too many tracks. Or if anything, I will set a restart disc, which will basically just send the 1 command to tell to go to track 1 to restart the entire disc. So if I hit this button, you'll see it'll pause it, and it will switch back to the radio. And you may also notice that the radio has a slightly lower volume than the mini disc player, and that's because the radio is 99.9% of the time background audio. So I would like to just have it in the background. I don't want it, becoming, dominant at all times. So when I do this, the mini disc becomes the dominant player, because it should be, because that's what I want to listen to most of the time. So, and then we just put this back up here, and then it just sits on my desk looking all nice. I brought the tripod thinking I was going to need it. Apparently I don't actually need it. But yeah, it's designed to look very nice and pretty, and it works quite well in my current little setup. We have all the mini discs over here. But yeah, like I said, the goal of this is to basically have a player to have at home that I can use throughout the day, and I don't have to abuse my poor portable players. Even though these guys can handle it, whatever I throw at them, I just don't like. I don't like using them at home, and I don't like having headphones on. So all the time, if I do need headphones, and I need a no delayed output, I can use the Behringer interface down here, because I have it outputting to one of the interfaces, and that's that one. So I just plug headphones in there and turn the monitor on and listen to it. So. there's that. So yeah, that's about it really. That's about my little overview of this little mini deck. I like it. Definitely I'm probably gonna buy another one of these. I'm gonna buy one of the I need to buy a black one. Find a black recorder, a black little bookshelf unit with group support, please. But I plan on getting one of those, and I plan on getting a small little sharp bookshelf unit. You can get those at like Best Buy for like $100, which is really nice, and throw it in my bedroom because I don't have any audio system besides a HomePod in the bedroom, which we're gonna break the immersion. There's the HomePod, and then we're going to migrate in here, and then there's the other HomePod in a second. Should turn the volume up. It probably has already done it. That's because there's motion sensors that talk to HomeKit and adjust the volume and all that shit. I think I did a video explaining this at some point, but apparently, I probably need to do it again. But yeah, I don't use the Google Homes because they're meant for other stuff. But yeah, volume. And if I come in here, the volume will come back up. Well, it's already up, but if I leave a room for too long, the volume will dip automatically. So that way it's not constantly blaring the volume in another room. So, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, I don't have much else to say. That's my little mini disc unit. So I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.